Hi, I'm Corbin. I sing and I play guitar in a band called Downstream. It started off basically with me and Dan sort of just like jamming acoustic songs in his basement. He had a bunch of lyrics written, some with like associated with guitar, some it was just lyrics, and it basically was like us two just wanting to start a band, realizing we had some of those songs, wanting to get them out of the basement. So I think the first two people we contacted were Adrian and Evan right away, because like I was friends with Dan. Adrian and Evan, they went to high school together. So that sort of got us like all the guitar down, drums down, and singing down. We just needed a bassist. And then Nick, I went to high school with Nick. I've known Nick longer than like anyone, so he just seemed like the perfect choice for bass. And then that started like the initial lineup of Downstream, and then obviously like Vince joined later on, and then yeah, that's basically the very beginning conception of Downstream. We've yet to put out like a full length or anything, but our first release was entitled As Winter Fades Away. That was like the first serious release I've ever been a part of, so it was really special in that regard. After that, we put out a song called Snowing, and it was written around the same time as Winter Fades Away, but we just sort of, it didn't really fit the EP, so we did that as a single. And then about a year after putting out the first EP, we put out I Used to Feel Everything, which is another 4-song EP. And then from there, we haven't done anything yet. We're working on a new EP. It's almost done. And yeah, we're just chilling. Regarding lineup changes, like it's something that can like happen for any band. Adrian, he was the original guitarist, and then he sort of left as Vince, our new guitarist, came into the picture. And yeah, it was peaceful. It was just one of those things where like he just couldn't do it, and yeah, it was totally chill. And a similar situation happened recently. Dan sort of wasn't able to do it either, so instead, like, he's like the best musician ever, so instead of trying to replace him, we just continued from that point on as a 4-piece. So like me, Nick, Evan, and Vince. We have our final show with Dan, our singer, January 20th at Doors Pub. And yeah, just like we realized like how good of a musician he was, and because of that, we didn't want to bring someone outside into the picture and try and fill Dan's shoes, because we knew that wasn't possible. So we're just sort of going along with the 4-piece for now. And despite all the circumstances, it's been feeling good. It's definitely been a weird change, but like a cool change. Well, I guess some of my influences, like when it comes to writing stuff for Downstream, Armor for Sleep is a big one. They're like one of my favorite bands, and especially when it comes to like the songwriting process, I go to them a lot. For I Used to Feel Everything, I drew a lot of influence from like Pianos Become the Teeth, The World is a Beautiful Place, Empire, I Was a Lonely Estate. That sort of stuff. Another thing that's sort of cool about it is we all have different influences, which sort of tie everything together. Like Nick loves rap, and you can it sort of bleeds through like in his bass playing. Evan and I sort of have a lot of shared influences when it comes to music. So it's like he'll be drumming stuff, I'll be playing guitar, and we'll know exactly what we want out of something. And Vince loves like power violence and punk, and with all of this like whole collection of different like influences, it all comes together, and it works really well. So I guess since this is like all of ours like first like serious musical endeavor, we've met a lot of cool people along the way who happen to play in cool bands. Parkside, Perfect Limbs, Romancer, Hindsight, Prophets, Rarity, and Goldfinch. I definitely recommend checking out all of those bands, because they're just as good musicians as they are people, and they have really, really cool music. So do that. I guess as far as cool shows go, our first show was a really, really good time. We played with Foxing and Into It Over It. So, like, being big fans of those bands, that was really cool for myself. Over the summer, us, Perfect Limbs, Gutter, and Counterparts played a show together. Counterparts played their, like, first hometown show in, like, 2 years. And so it was really cool being asked to be a part of that. Those stood out the most for me. I'd say the Rarity LP release was also very, very important night. I'd say top 3 shows were probably those 3. And yeah, Dan was in Florida at the time, and we obviously wanted to play the Rarity LP release because, like, we're good friends with them. And so we played that show without Dan, and it was sort of cool. It gave a different vibe to the whole night, just because, like, I've never fronted anything before in my life. So yeah, I'd say probably those 3 for, like, top, like, standout-ish shows. Is that a word? I don't know. Yeah, they stood out a lot. We have Dan's last show. That's all we have booked for shows right now, really. We're booking a weekend run with some cool bands in February. And I guess as far as new music is concerned, we are putting out a new EP in 2017 as well. It'll be with just, like, as the 4-piece. It'll be like the introduction of sort of like a new type of Downstream, with Evan and I singing, being the only voices you hear. But yeah, I'm really excited for it. It's sort of fresh in a way, because obviously we've recorded music before together, we've hung out before together, but we've never put out an EP like this. And I know everyone's gonna say that their most recent music is the music that they're the most proud of, but I'm gonna say that because I don't know, I don't know, I feel like we sort of just, like, wanted to push ourselves with this, and I feel like we did a good job. So I'm really excited for that to come out, and that'll be sometime in 2017. So as of right now, Downstream's discography, like the 2 EPs and single, are only available on Bandcamp. So it's basically just downstream.bandcamp.com, and then you'll find us. And then just Downstream on Facebook. Hi, I'm Corbin from Downstream, and you're watching Fairly Local on LBC.